Yeah, so it's like our first talk of the year. It's like we can call it our 2023 January 2023 New Year, New You
Yeah.
talk about it all kind of sort of talk. Let's open up the floor to Skip. It's great to have you here, Skip. Just for the record, brother, can you tell us a little bit, how old are you? How long have we been talking? Maybe how we met, or maybe, I don't know, just a couple of seconds. Can you tell me a little bit about yourself, Skip?
Yeah, sure. We are for almost a year working together, I think. Like February, I uh, I came across some goals of mine from a year ago. Week one, when I started with your program, the 6 weeks to success. So that's funny. I almost work a year with you. Uh, in my opinion, it had the time went very fast, but it was very, very, very beautiful, and I'm very happy with you. I think I've lost uh, 10 pounds or something. Not that much, but I know it will be more in the future. But it goes slow, you know. So yeah, 2023. I think this will be my first summer where I will be lean or shredded.
You're
Finally,
gonna be
I think.
shredded this year? You feel like you're getting shredded this year?
Yeah, yeah. I think this is the right time. Yeah.
You
I
wanted to be shredded last year.
Yeah, almost every year. I say it every year to myself, but it I didn't succeed. But I feel like this time is different with the new information, the new practices, everything you learned me. It's different
You
now.
feel like you feel like you've got a different outlook about your exercise and about your how to get lean and your strategy,
Yes,
your method.
exactly. Yes.
You've
Yeah.
altered you've altered your visual or your thought process to getting lean and maybe conditioning yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
interesting to hear.
Yeah. The last years, I also had a vision. I thought you need the proteins, the no carbs, the cardio. But yeah, it has changed a lot, and I feel like I will come to there. I don't think in 6 months I am at my leanest, but I will be very lean, I think.
In the next 6 months.
Sorry?
You're going to get lean in the next 6 months. You're leaning out over the next 6 months.
Yeah, yeah, I think I will, but not at my leanest. I think the months that come after that will be more insane, but that's okay.
Insanity to come.
Yeah, yes, yes, yes. Yeah, man. That's a beautiful ride this year.
That's cool. That's cool. You know what? When you came and you started, I don't usually bump into guys as young as you. How old are you, Skip?
22.
22, yeah, I don't get as many guys so young that I get to spend like extended time with. And this is the thing, is it sort of takes extended time to make a change in somebody. Like you
Hmm.
really got to look at it over the course of a year, don't you think? Like it takes a year to kind of get reorganized and reset.
At least, yes, at least. But yeah, a young man wants instant results, but that's not. Yeah, it is possible, but not for a long period of time, I think.
Sustainability, like you got to talk about
Yes.
not just like getting really, really, really lean and then all of a sudden you can't maintain it.
Hmm. You see a
It has
lot
to
of
be
that.
something sustainable. Like it doesn't really matter so much what you can attain,
Mm-hmm.
it's what you can sustain.
Yes. Yeah.
What about if you have to take a picture today? Like what how do you look today? You want to be able to stay like that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
It's one thing to turn into an out of shape guy and then rip yourself down for a picture, but to sustain it, it's to really to try to keep yourself in that sort of state of being and to hold it for a lifetime even too. Like you don't just want to do it in your youth.
Mm-hmm.
You want to maintain, sustain your health from your youth and beyond.
Yeah, till I die. And that's exactly how I feel right now. It's like I know it's the progress is slowly, but I will never go back, you know. It only gets better. I what I do already can I sustain for the rest of my life, and it only gets better. And yeah, that's awesome. It feels really good.
You feel maybe a little bit more in control of your
Yes.
destiny. It's like you're kind of getting behind your life a little bit. It's not like the quick fix. We're talking about anchoring yourself in such a way on a daily basis, physically, mentally, emotionally well, that you're kind of moving out into your year, into your next 5 years, 2 to 5 years, or the next decade, and you can see that that can grow exponentially if you apply the things that you're doing here like on a daily basis.
Mm-hmm.
All we have is time, so why not just maximize our time and each year just get better and more efficient to kind of revisit those anchored ideas again that really make sure that we win each day, which makes sure that we win at the end of the year. We're feeling like we've accomplished something and we're further forward than where we started.
Yeah, I feel exactly like that. It's amazing. I think I've accomplished a lot of progress. Uh, yeah, I'm I really want to thank you, John, and I'm looking forward to this year, next year. Yeah, you you gave me my life back. Yeah, that's I never wanted to go to parties, to go out for dinner, you know, because I was afraid I would eat those bad foods and uh, could not control me. So yeah, I'm I was really scared. But now, yeah, I'm not scared anymore. You gave me my life back. I more the balance, you know, how life should be, I think. Yeah. It's
Wow, that's
that's
nice. That's nice,
yeah.
brother. That's so cool, bro.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Wow, man. That's
Hmm.
nice. Yeah, I never really know what it is that I'm doing for someone, this is what I've been doing for a lifetime. It's just connecting with people, having a relationship with people, and sharing
Hmm.
energy with people, and helping people, relationships. Having a relationship with someone, having a relationship that you intend to get better.
Hmm.
That's an accountability relationship, where you're checking in with one another and sort of reporting and talking about things and evaluating them, and then kind of talking about the future and what could come next or what should come next, and working through plans, just making plans, talking about plans, working through plans, and building out a vision. So that's what it's about, getting a clear vision of what it is we really want.
Hmm. Yeah. Did you how was 2022 for you? Did you yeah what has changed for you? And did you change your opinions about some things? Or yeah, I want to know what has changed for you.
I feel like I've moved more into self-acceptance, accepting some things, some things a part of my life that were troublesome in my past, some darker parts of myself that I feel I couldn't love. I couldn't find any love for or any acceptance for, but they're a part of my life. They're a
Hmm.
part of me. Some acceptance for yourself, deeper acceptance for yourself. I think it's always to anchor yourself. I came to this realization very clearly last year that it's to anchor yourself in really four parts to yourself. I think to get clarity on your commitment to life and make sure that that's the foundation of your life, that you're committed to some, creative force.
Hmm.
And then also that you are committed to the gift that that creative force gave you. There is a creative force. You have to acknowledge it, devote to it, and then you have to acknowledge that the creative force gave you a gift of unconditional love, and you have to learn how to give it to yourself.
Yeah.
So you have
Okay.
to accept that from yourself. Like you have that's your responsibility. It was given to you, so you have to find it for yourself. And then you have to give it completely to the other. Once you have it,
Hmm.
you have to give it completely to the other that you were with. And then you have to will it out to every other.
Wow. Nice.
That's what I came to realize in 2022. So this kind of became my ritual, my daily practice, because this became clear to me.
Hmm.
And so as I got that clarity and started to clearly do that, that it just seemed like it just grew faster and grew faster and grew faster and grew faster. That I could see from that vantage point, I could see growth coming in different sectors of my life very clearly if I anchored myself that way. Just getting to the center every single day, speaking about it every day because I'm always with customers every single day, people trying to be fit, people trying to be healthy. These are the
Hmm.
conversations I have every day. These are the conversations I'm in all of the time. So I'm, it's kind of surrounded by that conversation, people wanting to be fit, people wanting to be better, people wanting to be healthy, people trying to overcome pain, people trying to reduce body fat, people trying to lose weight, people trying to love their husbands, wives, girlfriends, kids better, more. They want to love their lives more. They want to love themselves and they want to love their life more. They want to love more about their life. They want to
Hmm.
love more of their time. They want to spend more time loving. This is what it is. It's really kind of coming into alignment with what it is, with what we are. And we're all at various stages of awakening and at different ages and at different stages of awakening and different stages of awareness. And this is what it is. Like we have to become more aware, more self-aware. That's what it's about. I mean, we are the creators of our reality. So if we are unaware or unconscious, then we're creating unconsciously. So the less awareness we have, the more unconscious creation we have. So it's about greater awareness of yourself, self-mastery. It's about becoming a better human being. Like your health, your wealth, and your relationship ability, quality will grow as you grow in your nature. Your nature is an unconditionally loving nature. So as you grow in that, your ability to gain wealth or gain knowledge or gain opportunity or gain love, health, wealth, or love will be made available to you if you occupy that sort of frequency, vibration, those thoughts, those words, those visions in your mind. It's like sugar plums in your head, right? Like it's like keeping yourself in a place where you're managing your brain chemistry more often. It's being aware of your brain chemistry more often. Like when you do an exercise session, you are like injecting yourself with your steroids, your your own personal steroids and your brain steroids, personal ones, adrenaline, norepinephrine. You're putting this into your body, hormones, by fasting, by exercising and fasting, by breathing, by shifting your focus and attention from food, which is where the bulk of the population remains stuck, thinking that it's about food or foods. And, all foods, when digested and move through the entire process and come into cellular metabolism, they all create waste, which must be removed from the body. So, if we're talking about getting our fuel from food, eventually the body will become filled with this food. And we'll have to be removing the food to improve the quality of life of the human. It has nothing to do with getting more stuff. It has to
Hmm.
do with getting the stuff out so that I can be in touch with the divine nature that is within, the divinity that's within. Right? It's a change in our perception of our experience, our human experience. It's rather than living from the outside, it's starting to live from within.
Hmm.
A change of focus or a change of attention that you're making on a daily basis, Rather than reacting to the circumstance around me, I am not the things around me. I am the potential within me.
Mhm.
It's a change of attention. It's just constantly changing your attention. So daily changing your attention from the things that are going on in your day, changing your sustenance from food to the original sustenance, the mana, the ether, the inner energy, learning how to live from intuition, from your insides, from your feelings, listening to your feelings, not just going with your thinkings. I have thinkings, but I can change my thinkings. So I'm not my thinkings. I have thinkings, but I'm not my thinkings. I have feelings, but I'm not my feelings.
Mhm.
I'm the choice. I'm the free will. In every single moment, I am in charge of the inside. I cannot control the outside, but I have supreme management control of the inside. What I think in, what I eat in, what I drink in, what I inject in, smoke in, listen in, breathe in, what I inhale, and what I think in, what gets thought in, and what gets eaten and drank and put in. I'm in control of these things. So I'm in control of the internal. I cannot control the external. So I must
Mhm.
focus. I must focus and anchor within. I must begin there. This is the beginning, the root. The root is anchoring yourself in life, gratitude for life. Thank you. Creation. And then to honor the gift of creation, do the work to receive the love that was given, the unconditional love that was given. Give it to yourself. What do you got to do to give it to yourself today? It's probably some things you need to do to be happy with yourself today.
Mhm.
You gotta make a commitment to yourself. I gotta love myself. This is the first one. I gotta love life. Thank you. I gotta love myself. This is the first two. These are the primary ones to begin to anchor your life. And then it's out to the other. Now, I think this is the wife. You're a young guy, but even that intention, that intention out to her doesn't even have to be that you know her yet. You have to know of her. This is the other. Everyone has an other. Everyone has another, has the other. Life
What
has
what
given them.
what do you mean by that? Like,
Life will give you another at some point. that is, your mate,
Hmm.
that you've chosen that this is the one you're going to work with, you're going to commit to, you're going to devote to. So this is the thing, like your your divine partnership. This is a big one. So the first two are within yourself, like life and love for yourself. The third one is to the other. So it's not you, but you have to do it to the two sides inside of yourself. And we also have to do this between ourself and another at some point in our life. First, we have to do it within ourself. It's love for the other side of myself. There's kind of two sides to me. There's like the good side and the bad side. I got to make peace with both sides of myself. I have to have full acceptance of some things in my life that aren't, you know, stuff you don't only want to brag about.
Sorry?
The stuff you don't really want to share too much. It's the stuff that you feel embarrassed of, shame,
Hmm.
the things you're ashamed of. This is your lowest vibration stuff. Your shame, your embarrassment, your ridicule, your worry, your fear. This is your darkness. This is your badness. This is the thing, is that we have this, you know, dichotomy within us, this part of ourselves that's our demon, it's our badness. We suppress it. It becomes our shadow. We hide it. We have addictions trying to suppress it. We overeat, overdrink, oversex, overshop, over smoke, over whatever, to try and suppress it. This things that we do, whether they're physical things or even thinkings. They start with thinkings. They're feelings, they're icky feelings that we have. We have icky feelings about things in our life.
Hmm.
We have some parts of our life that we don't like. And as we get older, this, tends to come worse. Like as life, carries on, we get more of these things. The muck on your shoes gets more on your shoes, and finding some sort of peace and ease and acceptance of these things, like this is a part of happiness. And I don't know that you can do it all when you're young. Like I think somehow it sort of comes that we think about these things, or we have to think and deal with these things later on in life. Or if it's just that we suppress it when we're in our youth so much, like we just don't want to think about it. We just leave it alone.
Hmm.
But at some point, I feel it somewhere in the Middle Ages that it does come to a boiling point where it just seems like the life starts to break. The relationship breaks, the job breaks, the health breaks, or all of them do. Something goes wrong, you know? it comes to a climax of some kind, something goes wrong. So we lose health, or we lose health with someone very close to us, our loved one. We lose something, like we just can't hold it all. Like the life gets too big. You can't hold it all. Some part of it breaks off, whether it's, you know, whether it is always something broken off inside of yourself, and you see it break off outside of yourself. Like something has broken in you and then it breaks around you. Well, this is the thing, and it's to notice how this is how it works, is it starts in the mind and it comes into the body, and then from the body it comes out into the life. It's the sum total of your thinkings. And you're thinking it in your mind, and then it creates a habit or behavior, food or drink, that we put into our body that creates a certain ache or pain or something in the body, or body fat on the body. So it changes our self-esteem, our self-worth, and creates an emotional feeling, creates a feeling inside of ourselves that we feel for ourselves. That's our frequency or our vibration. That's the way we feel about ourselves, the collective body of ourself. It's our icky parts and it's our greatness too. It's the sum total of it all. So you can raise up the icky, messy part, or you can just focus on trying to go higher, 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 higher. It doesn't make your lower point go away just because you go higher, 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 higher. When we're young, we try to kind of go higher and higher and higher, just get away from it. But
Mm-hmm.
you can't get away from it. It's just you can actually shine your light on it and clean it up. You can clean it up by fasting and exercising and cleaning up the way you think and speak, because the word has supreme power over
But
the soul.
if it, yeah, is there a possibility that you can talk about good and bad and everything, but you don't, you split it from your self valuable or your self worth, that uh, we yeah, how can I say it? Like if you are good at school, then you are good. But can you also be separate that from each other? But that's more like self-love, right? That you can talk
We
about
have
it.
to be able to we have to be able to separate ourselves from the things around us. This
Yeah.
is separating yourself from the things that are around you. It's separating yourself from the things that are happening to you.
Hmm.
We need to learn how to do this every day. It's to put down the thoughts like, I am not the things around me.
Yeah.
I'm not what is happening to me. I'm not
Hmm.
even what has happened to me. I'm the
No.
potential to
Yeah.
overcome it. Yeah, I'm the
Yeah.
potential to overcome it. So it's just like if I can always step out of it
Hmm.
and then from another perspective look down upon it in a loving way. Like, okay, I can look down on you. Okay, that you're not, you haven't got everything perfect, but I'm sending loving intention to you. It's giving yourself some self-approval.
Yes. And then you try to program yourself like the way you want. The,
From the
the
outside.
yeah, the fun
Yes.
way.
Yes, from an alternative perspective, not from inside your life looking out, but by going inside of your life and coming up higher in your life and looking down, that you can change your perspective in your life from this different shifting of the way you view yourself, the way that you think about yourself, by taking a bigger world view of yourself, getting a bigger vision of yourself in your life.
But
Stop thinking small. Yes, coming
is
out of your
is
box.
is changing your changing your perspective of, how do we say it? Perspective?
Changing your
Is,
perspective.
yeah, is that always like self-love, or like see the bigger picture, right? It's always, or
It
yeah.
always it always makes you feel love because as you step out of your story,
Hmm.
as you step out of it and you start to, see the truth that you aren't it, this fills you with liberation and freedom and peace, and you feel all the true feelings
Hmm.
of life, the gift. As soon as you come out of your story,
Yeah.
as soon as you free the soul,
Hmm.
the soul is stuck inside the physical body for a
Yeah.
100 years.
Yeah.
Could you imagine being stuck if you were an infinite being inside of something that's finite? You're trapped, except for the thoughts that the being thinks.
Sorry again.
The soul is trapped within,
Hmm.
except for the thoughts that the being chooses to think. If the being thinks in a lofty way, in a big way, in a really happy way, then the soul gets to go there. If the being thinks in a ugly, scary, ugly way,
Oh my God, man. Yeah, I understand now. Wow. Never thought about that. Wow.
that's to change perspective.
Yeah. Holy crap. Damn. Wow. Yeah. Beautiful. And now I understand that. Yes. Okay. Wow. But yeah, I have a question. You talk a lot about mind, body, soul, or but you say the soul, the spirit is your emotional body, right? But
Let's
uh,
clarify that because this is a confusion. This is big confusion. And this is the trouble. That's why we can't understand some things because we have this confusion, and we have trouble navigating within ourselves because we have this confusion. This is a lot of confusion that we have to get clarity on in our mind, and we have to realize this in ourself. So it's important to get clarity on it. Okay, so, just to get clarity on who and what we are, who and what we really are, right? Truly, we are physical, we are mental, and we are spiritual, right? We are all of these things. But because we have free will, we've been given this thing, the only animal that has it.
mhm,
Because we have this, we have the choice to be the animal or to be the soul. And we can choose for 100 years this. And we can choose to act on the primitive or act on the possible. This is always our choice to step into the physical or to step into the metaphysical part of ourself. There's two parts. There's the masculine and the feminine. There's two parts to the self. You are plus and minus. And you are the mind that gets to decide who's in charge right now, him or her, inside of you. You are the choice. You are the free will. You are the mind. You are the mind between the physical and the heart, feeling, and just the body. You can just be the feet. You can just be the body. You can just love the food or the drink or the sex. You can just be this,
Mm-hmm.
or you can move into the spirit, and in there, in the spirit within you, you can grow infinitely within.
But you never become your intuition, right? Never. But you choose.
You can always connect to it forever.
Yeah, yeah.
You can connect more deeply to it. You can go deeper into it, infinitely deeper into it. You can move infinitely deeper into her. You can move to a physical limit in the physical. You can feel so much. You can drink so much. You can smoke so much. You can have so much money. You can have so much of the physical, but it's finite. You can go infinitely inside of yourself. If you're open, your channel is clear and open, you can burrow infinitely into yourself, all the way into the star. So that's the capacity of the human, to be able to go that deep into themselves.
What do you mean by the star? The
Like to go into outer space. You can go into outer space within yourself. Like you can go as far out into travel within yourself.
and that's the higher sensitive people. That's where they
That's
get
your
the.
that's going into your intuition. That's going into your power. Every single human has a gift that they can go into it. If they can learn how to go into their own power, but they have to know how to manage their own mind, and they have to come out of their physical things, because you can't enter into this realm unless you can come out of, until you can put down the things. I am not the things. If I can recognize that there is a whole world within that we're dialoguing about, it's a different place to exist on a daily basis. To always put yourself into the creative space, the space of possibility, the space of imagination, the space where creation happens. Or to come out of that and get back into, get your feet on the ground, and let's talk about reality. What does this mean? What does this mean in reality? Well, what it means in reality really is, there is a consciousness. There is one pure consciousness, an unconditionally loving consciousness. We must honor it, devote to it. And we also must accept the gift it's given us. Recognize the gift it's given us. It's given us a gift of unconditional love. Like that's always pouring through our veins, so to speak. If we would focus on it and learn how to feel it and learn how to connect to it and feel it and allow it to move through and permeate through the body on a daily basis so it becomes the sustenance of your life rather than the food,
Mm-hmm.
or requiring less food because you're gathering more from within yourself, and then intending to love the other is like intending to love your shadow, intending to love the part of you that you don't like. Your partner is your divine opposite. The other is like the oppositional energy that's shared in your life. This is your partner. Initially, before you have a partner in our youth, this would be like the part of yourself that you don't like. This would be loving the part of yourself that you don't like, the part of yourself that you haven't accepted yet, the part of your body that you don't like. I don't like my thighs. I don't like my legs. I don't like my tummy. I don't like my arms. Everything that's happening around us has a circumstance within us. It begins in the mind, it comes into the body, and then it comes around us in our life. If we're seeing a trouble in our life, if we're seeing a trouble with body weight or a problem with our body that we don't like, something we don't like about our body, we don't like this about ourselves, it has like an internal, I don't like this about myself. It's burrowed right down into an organ and it's created a sad spot where there is a dense, dark part inside of you that isn't accepted. And in that isn't accepted spot, it's like stagnant energy, like it doesn't want to move. It just sits there. It's dark there. It's darker there somehow. It's cold there. There's acid there. There's pain there. There's something there. It's all things are there that are troubling your life. For some people, it's in the colon, many of us, it's in the digestive system. Many of us, because of our overeating troubles. This is at this, it's a lot of it is in there. It could be in our liver or our kidneys. These are cleansing organs. So it could be in there as well, too. It can be in our blood. It can be in our head, in our lymphatic system, in our lymph nodes. It's in our body. There's pain in our body. There's emotional pain. There's mental pain. There's spiritual pain. There's virus and bacteria that are growing in that. That's in us. That sickness, illness, disease is in us. It's emotional, it's physical, and it's even bacteria, entity, living. So it is even spiritual itself, like it has life.
Oh, that's what you mean by spiritual.
It's alive too. It wants to preserve itself. It lives in carbon dioxide environment.
Mhm.
It lives in the ash waste of food. Carbon dioxide is also in the cigarette. Like eating is smoking. Whether you eat or you smoke it, it doesn't matter. You're putting that carbon dioxide into your body and creating a place where this bacteria loves to grow. We create our own sickness, illness, and disease inside of our own self. And when we get around other people who are shedding their sickness, illness, or disease, it's just the human nature to imitate and join in. It's just what we do. It has nothing to do with worrying about germs or anything like this. It's not about germs. You have these germs in you. Every single one of us has these germs in us. It's just whether or not we're in a point where the body is critical mass releasing and joining in with the release party that's going on around or not. Sometimes it is, and sometimes it's not. It depends on the circumstance or situation of the person. If they've been under undue stress, or they've been working too much, or they've been more absent minded, less aware of themselves, less connected to their inner source and energy and health and vigor and power within themselves, less anchored in their own power and force, they can be taken by illness as well too. Has nothing to do with bacteria or of anybody else or cleansing your hands or anything like this at all. This bacteria is inside of yourself and it has to come out of you. The only way it can come out is through an illness. That's how it comes out. You have to cough it out, sneeze it out, run out. Mucus it come has to run out of your system through your ass, through your nose, through your mouth. It's got to run out of your system. It has to be eliminated.
Mhm.
That's how waste goes. So, waste has to come out through sickness. It has to come out. It's going to come out. It needs to be cleansed out of the system. We all have to do it. We all have to shed these things. There's nothing to be afraid of. We don't have to get worried and panic, but this is the thing is that everyone is worried and panicked about their health. This is the thing. We have to shift from being in panic about our health. We have to anchor ourselves in the knowledge that there is nothing in creation of any kind that is going to be more healing for you or your life other than you. There is no thing that can be made by man that can be put into your body that will make you better. You are perfect. And if you are not, it's only because you've been given a imperfect program in your mind. And you can remove it. You can find it and get that weed and pull it out of there. And I'm not saying it's an overnight thing. It's not an aha moment like, oh, I got it. And all of a sudden it's gone. It's not that. But if you can figure out, where it is around, that you can start to move into the thing that's troublesome in your life. It's around there. It's around your bad habits. It's around your overeating. It's around your negative thing. It's around your nuance that you do. Whatever it is, we all have them. It's around your negative behaviors. If I can clean up my negative behaviors, or if I can exchange them for more positive ones, then I exchange some of these behaviors for something more constructive. It's a change of perspective. It's a change of thought. It's not about elimination of things because I don't think elimination is a solution. Like I understand elimination for periods of time, 3, 4 years, if you want to say even 7 years or something like this, or a decade, okay. but sooner or later, you're going to have to deal with it. It doesn't go away because you just don't go into the room with the person. It doesn't go away because you just don't drink it anymore. It's not gone.
Even though if there is no emotional trauma or something.
There's
Even
always an emotional part to it. There's an emotional part to
always.
anything.
Okay.
Always.
Okay. That's the creation.
And if I take the thing away, the physical thing, the smoke, the drink, the drug, the person, the money, the job, what if I take it away, I may have removed the physical exposure, but the emotions that are triggered by the exposure haven't gone away. And as soon as I get close to that thing, the feelings will come up again. So I have to, if I just eliminate the coffee, well, you know what? There was some feelings I had that were associated with coffee. So I took coffee away for a couple of years
Hmm.
and I recognized that just coffee's bad and I just stayed away from it. But then I recognized, oh, when I drink a coffee, I feel like this. I feel like this. This is good. This is good. I like this. I like this. Oh, there's some good things about it too. Oh, but then it brings up this negative sort of thing. Whether it's coffee or it's alcohol or it's smoke or tobacco, whatever it is, like, you know, there's a dose that's really appropriate. It's not that we need to eliminate something. Meat has to go, or fat has to go, or sugars have to go, or breads have to go, or pizza has to go. Nothing really has to go. It's good to take things away for a period. Absolutely. 3 years, 4 years, 7 years, 10 years. Okay. Whatever you need to do to get back control of that thing and realize that you are in control of that thing. However long it takes for you to recognize, to determine that you are in control of that thing, then you have to expose yourself to it again.
Hmm.
Because when you get exposure to it, it brings up some emotions that you need to deal with still.
Okay. And then you can sit with these emotions.
Right, but so you just have to get a lesser exposure to it. Like don't go over to the party with 6 beers. Just maybe have one beer at home. Like start with a half a glass, like whatever. Like don't now go as far the other way, think it means that I can go crazy on this thing again. I can drink as much coffee and smoke as much as I like. It's not this either. It's that I need to take some time away from it so that I have control of it again.
Hmm.
Once I recognize I have control of it again, then I need to reintroduce myself to it at a different dose, at a lower dose. I need to expose myself to less of it, and I need to manage the less.
But
Uh,
but why would you then don't drink coffee, for example, for 4 years? Uh, for for your yeah, and I know that it's better for your body, but why would you do that if you come back? Why can't you
Why would you go
immediately?
back to it? Why would you go back to it? Like this, it's like saying there's no benefit to coffee.
No, no,
Like
no,
it's
no.
all bad. Like this is the thing. It's like nothing is all good or all bad.
Mhm.
There is no all good or all bad. Like your wife will not be all good or all bad. Your child will not be all good or all bad. There is nothing that is all good or all bad. And this is how we think, though. Oh, it's good. Oh, it's bad. No, that's the bad thought. It's not good or bad. It's
Mhm.
good and bad. All things are good and bad. They're dose related. It just means how much of it.
Mhm.
You have to reduce the dosage of it. It's not that something is poisonous, it's that the dose of it is poisonous. It's that you become overdosed by food and drink and sex and work. You become overdosed by it. You get stuck on one thing for too long. Don't get stuck on one thing for too long. Get into other things. Switch your things. I'd say, you know what? Better to use 5 things a little bit than to use one thing too much. Don't get so attached to that thing. Don't let it rule you. Don't let it be your master. Don't let it be your God. Don't let it be your idol. Don't, devote yourself to that. That's my happiness. It's your idol.
Hmm.
You've just given your power away to your girlfriend. It's not, don't have an idol to your job or to your boss or to your money. Doesn't matter what it is. But I have to, maintain my center with all things work, money, people. And, the way to do that is to anchor yourself daily. This is just to make sure that you get up every day and anchor yourself this way. This is if you
Anchor.
want to have
I don't know that word. What does it mean?
want
Anchor.
to anchor yourself or center yourself. This is what I'm saying that the theme of 2023 is to make sure that you're just starting from the same point every single day. Everyone gets blown over by the wind, by what's happening outside, the story that's going around or the situation that's happened, the problem that they're in. Everyone gets knocked over by the circumstance that they're in. We have to learn how to put down the problem. I'm not the things. Like, I have to learn how to put down whatever it is. It doesn't matter what it is. If I don't learn how to put it down, it's a pandemic or it's a this or it's a da. If I don't learn how to put down whatever is going on, then it becomes my God. As soon as I start to make anything my God, well, I fucked up because there's one God. Okay. We have to honor that. There's creation, and then there's the gift of that creation gave us. And then there's that gift that I'm going to give away to somebody.
What is that gift? Like,
The gift is unconditional love. That's the love, the gift that they gave, creation gave you. I honor creation. I honor the gift that creation gave me. So I have to embrace and fill myself with that love. And then once I've filled myself with that love, I've got to intend it to my other, intend it to my darkness, intend it to the oppositional other. That's the partner. They will be the divine opposite. They will be the oppositional energy. They will be your ground or your anchor. They will be the other sort of thing that holds you down. They will be your anchor. They will be the divine opposite. You will butt heads with them. You will see different eye to eye with them. They will have a different of view. They will have a different perspective that you'll be like, I don't get it. What? You don't have to. That's your partner's job.
mhm.
She needs to get that. They need to get that. The other gets it. You don't. So you have to love her as she is. You have to love the other idea that you can't get. You don't get it. You never do. It's the part that you don't like. It's the thing you don't like inside of yourself. It's your lover. That's the other. You have to will love to that part of yourself, your shadow, and then you have to intend love out to every other soul.
S- Sometimes I think about, yeah, it goes better now. Sometimes I know uh, like my girlfriend. She's 5 years younger than me, and she's very sweet, uh, very beautiful. But sometimes, yeah, I I I wish I could talk with her about things you are talking about when you're 22. You know, like I've a good friend of mine, and I can talk with him about everything, and not with my girlfriend. And I know that is I don't blame her for nothing. I know it's my problem. But then I sometimes I wonder, is it will life be easier or more fun for you if you have a girlfriend who is the
Like
same
you,
age?
the same
Yeah,
age as you. Is it,
yeah.
no matter if they're the same age, if they're more like you, if they're more like you in this way, they're going to be more not like you in another way. Like you're not going to find your perfect person, like your divine opposite, the girlfriend, the other, it's always going to be oppositional. You'll have times where you intersect with your divine opposite. There'll be points of intersect. There'll be absolutely points of attraction. But then there'll be like, yeah, but I can't talk to her about the things that I can talk to my bros about, or I can't talk to her about the thing that I want to, or I can't get the point across to my son, or I can't get my daughter to understand, or I can't get my lover to see, and I just can't seem if I could just get my mother to, if I could just get the other to, like, this is it. Like, you can't get the other two. But the other won't. That is the other, the one who won't. It's the trouble. Like, you can't understand that. Like, that's the thing, right? Like, that's it. Like the part that you can't get. Yeah, well, how do you love the part that you can't get? Well, that's it. You have to love it in a different way. Like you have to accept it just as it is. Like you don't try to change it.
Hmm.
That's how it is. That's the love. Like you have to like that's how it is. Like I send love to you like that. Just how it is. No change needed. I don't need you to change anything. I just love you. It's just a love for your shadow the same way, like the part of yourself that you don't like. Like, I don't like it. I don't like it. Yep. Just kind of get above it and send love to it. Intend it. Think about it. Imagine love to it. Like, just think love to that difference in life, in the other, in another's point of view, in a different perspective. Like, you can't understand it. You're not gonna. That's life. Like you're not gonna understand everything in it. Like that's it. The other, you're not gonna understand them. You're gonna love them anyway. There's always gonna be someone that you can't understand. You have to love them anyway.
Hmm.
You have to love them the same way you love yourself. You have to love your brother like yourself. You have to love the other like you love yourself. You have to love yourself and you have to love the other. How do you love the other? How do you love her? How do you love them? You just intend love to them. You think loving thoughts about them as they are, as it is, as your shadow is, as your circumstance is, as your situation is. You send love to it as it is, not needing it to change or be different. just intending love over top of it. And then from that point, you can intend love out to every other soul that you share this time and space with. You intended out the same way you loved the other.
Uh-huh.
It's anchoring yourself or centering yourself daily. It's from this centered, anchored point that you can, on a daily basis, create something new. You can think about something new. You can think about what you want to create. In this space, this is the fertile ground. In this space, you can get clear about what it is that you want to create. You can think about your health. You can think about your wealth. And you can think about your relationships in a creative way, in a powerful way. Powerfully, you can send powerfully loving intention to all aspects of yourself and your life in this way. If you can step out of the story that you're in, the problems that are going on, if you can get yourself out of it, you can change your state of being. Exercise is a great way to do this on a daily basis. Raise up your hormones, get yourself into like an elevated state of being.
What does your is your yeah, how is your frequency related to your hormones?
Yes,
How?
it's related. The way that you feel, your hormones rise up when your adrenaline kicks in and your epinephrine kicks in and your body's like on a high. Your
Mhm.
endorphins are on a high. Your oxytocin, norepinephrine, your neurotransmitters are on a high. Your capacity to image things that are high, happier, sexy, loving, like climactic, the biggest, most happiest, most fun things in your life, like the ecstasy in your life. Like you're able to access this when you're up in those adrenaline forming hormones and testosterone growth hormone. When you're up in these elevated hormones that come from fasting, that come from exercise, when you're in that state of being, you have the capacity to image in your mind something bigger. Now, if you practice coming to that state of being and then practice setting your mind imaginatively so that you're growing your capacity in this way, like whatever you practice, you get stronger at. It's like you're strengthening this muscle.
Mhm.
You elevate your energy daily with exercise and breath. Bring yourself up, and then you use your will to image your greatest idea, your greatest loving thought, your greatest loving intention for yourself, for life, for yourself, for the other, and for all others. If you change the way that you engage with your life, if you change your frequency or vibration, if you change your intentions, if you have bigger intentions, if you have loftier intentions, if you rise up your intentions, if you grow within, you'll see your life will begin to grow around you. Like if you change the way that you engage with your life will begin to engage with you differently. If you come from a place anchored in love, grounded in love, centered in love, if you come from your center, which is an unconditionally loving center, if you come from your root, if you come from your core, if you come from your inside, from your heart, you're using the power of consciousness, the power of spirit or soul, the power of creation, the force of the Almighty, the God within, the giant within. You're willing out into your life what you want: health, wealth, love. Command it. Speak it over yourself in your life every day. Affirm it. Think about it. Image it in your birth, in your imagination, in the feminine. Image it. Bring the feelings into your life. Like if you bring those feelings into your life in your mind through the spinal cord out to every single cell of your body, you're putting health and wealth and success into your body on a daily basis. Like you're practicing it. You're thinking and speaking and talking about it, creating the images of it. You're imagining it. You're imaging health and wealth and success in your life on a daily basis. Practice it every single day in 2023. Change your life this way.
Yeah, I will do my best. What's also funny, what changed this year was I do care less about how I look. You know, when I first came with you, I wanted to do still a lot of pull-ups, push-ups. I still do, but a little bit. You know, I just want to feel good, be my best, like you always say, and that's yeah, it goes beyond the physical measurements and how you look, etc. Yeah, man.
Thank you, brother. Thank you for chatting with me today. It's a change of perspective. It's like coming away from doing lots of push ups and pull ups and killing yourself in the gym. It's not about killing yourself in the gym, it's about changing a bit, working smarter, not harder. It's about changing your
Mhm.
mind in the gym every day.
Yeah, yeah. And they say you can do it till you die, right? Like you
Grow
come
until
there
you
and
die.
yeah.
You can grow until you die that way.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yes. It's
That's
building, it's living from a system. It's a principle centered living. It's living from principle, living from intuition. It's living from heart and soul, passion, purpose. It's, aligning yourself daily, living from alignment, place of alignment, from centered place, from your power. It's living from your power, stepping into your power every day.
hmm yeah. Do you have some time left or do you need to go? Otherwise, uh, yeah, I've thought about going to Italy, but I think I want to with you when you speak at the Pranic Festival. But where do you sleep? Like in I don't know the English word, the tent, the
Yeah, yeah. We can sleep in a tent. We can sleep in a tent. Yes. Would that work?
yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, we can
What
have a tent there. It's not a problem. We can do a tent. It's that
what's
we
normal? What's normal? What
Yeah,
did
they
you
have
do?
people camping there. They have people camping there. They have rooms there as well too.
Okay.
You can get like igloos or something, like they're kind of like igloos. They're like, they have organized spots that we can take, but that could all be arranged for you. Yes, that can all be a part of it if you want to come. If you're
Yeah.
interested in doing it, like the tent would be a very simple way to do it.
Okay. Yeah, I can think about it, but yeah, about where to sleep, etc. But I think I want to come. Yes, like
Awesome.
5 days
Let's
or
arrange
something.
this. Let's sort this out and make final decisions when we come up. But let's plan for this then to do this together in August.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, I would love to.
That's exciting, buddy.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it. That's a good goal. It's a good goal for us to work on together.
Yeah, you're going to do that.
Okay, buddy.
Um, yeah, quick question. You talked last week, I think, about the oranges and the vitamin B3 and B6. So, do you believe in the vitamins, the minerals, etc., or only in the cosmic rays? Uh, do I speak do I pronounce that good? Cosmic rays?
Do I only believe in cosmic rays? Yeah, okay. So you know what? This is it. Um, we can manifest everything that we need to heal and fix and change ourselves within our own selves, with our own breath, without food, without even water. Yes, we can.
Okay.
But in order to do that, you have to be very clean, a very clean channel. Like you have to cleanse your body. Like you'd have to spend to do this, you're talking about something that's, you know, 7 to 10 years of devotion. 7 to 10 years of devotion to do something like that, to live like that. And when you're talking about living like that, I would even say you're living like that and you still stop and eat sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So everything can be sustained this way, but it's not like a simple life. You can't do it and have a regular job. You cannot live like that. So
Because of
in the real world, in the real world, like we do things to kind of imitate. Like you could do this with your own serotonin, with your own imagination. You can eat a cookie and you can raise your blood sugar and it will raise your serotonin and your oxytocin inside of your body. Or you can imagine a cookie and you can raise the serotonin in your body. Just not as much, maybe. But if you really practiced, you could even create the image of the cookie inside of your own mind.
Mhm.
So you can do it with your mind, or you can also take a B vitamin and put it physically in you, or you can put the cookie in you, or you can manifest it in you. Yes, all of them are true. I'm not saying one is right and one is wrong. I'm just saying like the taking the vitamin, it's just like it's I'm not saying I believe in one or the other. I believe in all of them is what I'm saying. But yes, if you take the B vitamin when you're like the thing about life is, you have to go to work or you have to do something on a certain time schedule. Like in the next hour, I need to do this. Like that's how life is. And that's not
Mhm.
really how life is supposed to be, but that's how life has become. And because life has become like that, you need to be able to sometimes get B vitamins like in an instant, manifest them. Like sometimes you're like, oh fuck, I gotta go to work. Like you don't have the serotonin going for going to work and you take something that changes your brain neurotransmitters, you have a coffee, you have a green tea, you do something to get through the situation. So I'm not saying one's right or one's wrong. I'm just, it's not right or wrong.
Mhm.
But yes, you can use B vitamins, and I do use B vitamins, and I have used B vitamins, and I have found benefit to B3 and B6. And B3 I used a lot to help eliminate waste, and I found it very beneficial. Vitamin B3.
Okay.
Vitamin B3, excellent. Vitamin B6, excellent. A little bit of B12, yes, and I've used B12 in the past as well, but B3 and B6 specifically. But these are, we know them as B vitamins. They're organic acids. They're organic acids. That's what they are. Just like caffeine is an organic acid,
Mhm.
just like
But
green tea is.
your answer comes down to They are, you can take them or you cannot take them. It's what you want, it's
What
not,
you want,
it's a
yes.
balance,
If you
it's a
want, if
balance.
you'd like to experiment with this, it can be beneficial, but I'm not saying like it's not the answer to your
Yeah.
dreams. Like you just have to take B vitamins. That's not what I'm saying. No. What I'm
Hmm.
saying is you have to anchor yourself every day. And there are some things you can take and do that can make things better as well too in the instant. I really like hydrogen. I really like hydrogen therapies of all kinds.
Hmm.
Hydrogen water, right? I like hydrogen. I like cacao. I like magnesium. I like green tea. I like a little bit of coffee. Distilled water, absolutely. Distilled water. I like juices and fruits and hydrating foods, living foods. Hydrating foods, living foods. These need to be the bulk of our nutrition. You know, if you want to have a piece of fish or chicken, or you want to have some cheese, like that's okay too. Have it on the weekend. Have a beer. You want to have it. You can have anything you want. But the bulk of my nutrition and the focus and intent of my nutrition and the things that I think and speak about and the things that I tell other people to do and work towards myself are is to raise up my raw food intake and reduce my cooked and processed food intake.
Hmm.
It's like a lifestyle that, I'm adamant and committed to, always doing that. That's what shifted my perception, my perspective, coming away from food, coming to lighter food, coming to less food, fasting, fruitarian living, lighter foods enabled me to release dense, heavy emotions and virus and bacteria and mucus and pus and waste, you know, from my body. Like that was stuck in my colon, in my lymphatic system, in all my organs, in my head, in my neck, in my shoulders, in my back. Pus and mucus and waste was in my body. It was making me sick. I was getting sick because I was stifling, strangling, suffocating in my own mucus from illness and disease and injury that I got earlier in my life, mistakes I had made earlier in my life, and I never really dealt with them. And just antibiotics and making things go away, that doesn't make things go away. You have to clear mess out of your body. It has to be removed, the mess. It comes from removing the messy food for some period of time. And I don't mean eliminating it, but you have to take it away for some time because you have to take back control of it. And then you
Hmm.
have to, gently expose yourself to it again and release the emotions that are attached there. Like it's a bit of back and forth with your life. It's not an overnight fix. You
Yeah.
cannot get it back overnight. You got to look at this. I think you got to look at it over 6 or 7 years to really
Hmm.
transform your life wholeheartedly, every single part of it. In one year, you can make a big change in your life. In 2023, we can make a big change in our life. But look at what you can learn in 2023 to amplify and grow and make something magical and wonderful in the next 2 to 5 years with my health, with my wealth, with my relationships.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. Sometimes when I eat something bad, I think, yeah, I need it, emotional. But life ends when your body ends. So life starts with with your body, uh, maybe. So not yeah. How can I say it? If I want to live as much of as long as possible, I need to, and it's better for me to, no, to eat.
To not eat it, to not have it. It's better to not have it.
Yeah.
How do I know I'm going to live longer?
Yeah, physically because you don't damage your body that much, you know? It can sustain
How do you
longer.
know how long you're going to live? How do you know how long you're going to live?
Yeah. Not you can know. Yeah.
Is it better to live life longer? Is a longer life a better life?
Yeah, good question, man.
Is it about a longer life?
No, it's about a
It's
good
about
life.
quality of life. It's about quality of life. It's about a satisfaction with life. It's about being pleased with yourself.
Hmm.
It's being satisfied that you have accomplished the things that you want to accomplish in your life. It's not about living longer. You could be living longer in a wheelchair or in a bed. It's not about living longer. It's about the quality of my life. It's how long can I walk and run and play basketball? How long can I enjoy generating enough income?
Hmm.
How long can I generate enough income to explore life to its fullest that I could support my biggest dream? For how long could I live a life that I could support my biggest dream? Else I'm not even living my dream. I'm dying. Am I living? When people are living, are they living or they're
Hmm.
walking dead?
Wow. Yes. Thank you. Um, yeah, that I wanted to ask you. Let's say I wasn't a food addict, but a cocaine addict, and I came to you. How would you, yeah, how would you do the same things, you know, or did, and also, but not the 4 days, not cocaine in the 3 days. Uh, you know, how would you, yeah, how would you do that? Because it has to do with self-love, of course, raising your,
I don't use
everything is the
steroids
same, but
anymore. I don't use steroids anymore. Some things you got to kick for good.
okay.
I think it's about changing your life. It is about giving something up and starting something new. Changing your life is about letting go of something and picking something up new. Changing
Hmm.
it. That's a new life is about changing something. So changing from something from the way you used to do it, the way you used to think and speak and do it, to a new way of thinking and speaking and doing it. Cocaine would be one of those things that I'd say we need to take a little time away from that. I don't know that you're going back to that, buddy.
No, no.
I don't use steroid anymore. You know, but I still have coffee or tea. I have coffee once a week. I might have a
Hmm.
green tea once or twice in a week. Now I do that, but I'll have a one, two, three beer maybe on a weekend. But for 7 years, I didn't even have any beer. So,
Hmm.
I don't think it's now about like eliminating anything. But there you go. As I say that, I don't use steroid anymore. So like there's some things maybe like that you overuse in your life. Like if you use it too much, you can use it so much that you can't use it anymore now. Like that becomes the thing that you can't use anymore. Like if you do some things too much, then you can't do it anymore, buddy.
Yeah.
You broke it. You broke it. You broke that one. That's the trouble with doing one thing too much. Too much drinking, and then you can't drink anymore. Now you can't drink anymore at all. alcoholics, generally don't return to drinking at all. Cocaine addicts can't go back to sniffing some cocaine once in a while. Like
Mm.
sex addicts, like, I mean, are we any different? Addicts of food, are we any different? Really? Is it, but we keep on eating. Eating's allowed.
Yeah, exactly.
Sexing's allowed, right?
Hmm.
So
It's maybe easier to
it's
get away from it
it's about
socially.
laws too. It's about laws and social boundaries.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
You know.
Okay.
Yeah.
I, I, yeah. I really feel like and that I don't want to eat anymore in the, let's say, for 4 days of the week. I really feel that, and I'm working to it. Like I've 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 eaten so much food, and yeah, but I'm still emotionally attached, but I'm working on it, and I know I will. Yeah, I don't feel it, man. I don't want to for a few days in a week. Yeah.
I very much like short fasts, one to
Mm-hmm.
4 days. One to
Yeah.
4 day fasting, I think, is ideal. This was Dr. Arnold Ehret, who's prescribed a 3 day fast to people. That's how we judged them off the start on how healthy or well they were. If they couldn't make it 3 days, they were more diseased. If they couldn't make it 2 days, they were more diseased. If they couldn't make it a day, they were more diseased. Like the longer you can fast is like a measure of your health. I would also say, the longer you can exhale all of your air and hold your breath there,
Mm-hmm.
that's another marker for,
Yeah.
truly how healthy you are. Like, can you stand it in there? How much can you stand it in there? That's the places, the edges of the corners of our life where we can push into discomfort, push into the carbon dioxide that's in our bodies that we've put in from food, from habit, from drink, from food and drink and think, emotional baggage, physical and emotional baggage. We can remove it all through fasting, through exercise, through breathing, through meditating, and fixing the mind in a way that we're anchored on a daily basis, changing the mindset daily, changing the perception daily, changing the foods and drinks and thinks of the being, foods, drinks, and thinks of the being, and the movement of the being, the breath, the meditation, the foods, drinks, thinks, and breath of the being can restore health and function to the being. Healthy thoughts can actually get you into some healthy things. There are some healthy things that you can do too to get your health back that'll help you get your health back faster. Skip, I've got to run.
Yeah, man. I understand. Thank you so much for today.
Thank you,
Was a
brother.
was a good session.
Yeah, it was.
I will speak to you. Thanks, man.
We'll talk again soon. Health 2023. See you later.
Yes. Bye bye.
Bye.